for coming back. The informed consent from before, does anybody have any questions on that? And everybody's still good to stay in, feeling comfortable?
Yep.
Okay, great. So what we're going to do now is I have handed everybody out a piece of paper. This is the stimulus piece of the life skills lesson plan on anger management. And what we're going to do now is that each one of you get to take as much time as you need to take any art supplies. So there's the pens if you want to write down, or if you'd like to draw a picture. And I want to know, what does anger look like to you? So if you want an example, I have had people write down, anger looks like someone breaking a dish. I've had people draw an angry face. I've had people, draw a kicking and screaming child. There's all different options that you guys can choose, and there's no right or wrong answer. I just ask that you be honest and you draw or write whatever anger looks like to you. Do you have any questions?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
Would you like the red? Oh, I can start with it. But don't look at mine. Don't look at mine.
By the way, you guys don't have to put your names on it if you don't want to. It can be completely anonymous if you don't feel comfortable naming it as your own. You're completely safe to leave it anonymous.
No, I won't let go ahead.
It's going to be a surprise.
That's totally okay. It can be a surprise.
Did you like Twist and Shout?
I did. Yeah, I got my voice out there.
Good.
All warmed up. Pretty proud of my work today, I'm just saying.
Okay, we're all done. Fantastic. Did you guys find that hard to kind of think about what anger looks like to you? No? Okay, so let's go over them. Okay. So, first off, we have a fire and what I think is red eyes and somebody with smoke coming out of their ears, which is very good. So I think that could definitely be what anger looks like. What do you guys think makes this angry?
The facial expression and like the fist, you know,
Okay.
like it gets
Eyes.
physical, the eyebrows.
Yeah, the whole imagery of smoke and fire and all that.
So
Seeing
angry.
red.
Oh,
Get it?
nice.
Get it?
Very good. All right. Okay, next. I'm not too sure what this is, but I think that it is a light bulb with a happy face, and then the light bulb turns on, and it's an angry face.
I get that.
So,
I get that.
Because my wife leaves all the lights on in the whole house, and it really makes me mad because they're on all day. That's all.
See, I didn't take it like that. I took it as you were calm, but then an idea came in your head, and then you were like, "Oh, that makes me so mad."
That's my picture.
Okay. That's very
and I did
good.
green for the Hulk.
So the green is for the Hulk, because the Hulk is angry, and
That's
that's what
fair.
anger looks like,
I
is
get
the
that.
green Hulk.
It does have a soft part, though.
Okay, hey, listen, lights being left on, if that's what triggers you, then that's what triggers you. Next, we have a gray face with blue eyes and with a wrinkly forehead. What did we think of this? Do we see anger in this? You see your
I see
father-in-law?
angry, the eyebrows and the wrinkles. And the
Yeah.
forehead.
Yeah, and a very straight face. Yeah, not
What
happy.
do you-
Definitely not happy.
What do you think about this one? Do you see anger?
I just somehow see like a older man who tends to not handle anger well.
Oh, okay.
Like I just think a lot of times older men, the
Yeah.
gray matter, aging
Okay.
gray matter,
Okay.
they don't quite handle things that well. And
Okay.
he's kind of like, getting the bulging eyes and
Yeah.
I saw the blood
Flaring.
I was
shots
gonna
too.
say, I like
the
the
flaring
blood shots.
nostrils
Very
and
good.
all that
Yeah,
kind of
flaring
stuff.
nostrils.
It's just like,
I think that's, so yeah, I think all three are really good examples of what anger looks like. So you were saying about older men, that they tend to not necessarily deal with their anger so well.
I would say that they have lower patience with things.
and not all older men, but it is a proven scientific phenomenon that there is a gray matter in aging men. Hence, the movie.
What age are we talking about?
The movie.
That's okay.
You'll come to it.
That's
You know
okay.
that movie?
Anger Management is a movie.
No, the movie about the old men, the
Grumpier old man.
grumpy old men.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes, that's a
Okay.
real thing.
I totally can see that. So do you think that they're, okay, so let's take, I'll ask this for you guys for yourself, or you can even think about the characters in the movie Grumpy Old Men. Do you think that their anger, or any time in your own lives with your own personal relationships, where anger has affected your relationships? Or do you think that the characters...
Definitely.
Yeah,
Of course.
100%.
Yeah, my wife's always angry, so.
Okay. And so, do you want to give
Can
an
I
example?
explain? Okay, so when I have a long day at work, and my coworkers drive me crazy over
Mhm.
like the simplest things, but it just happens all the time, and that's why I get so angry about it. I come home and I definitely take it out on my mother
Okay.
more than my father,
Mm-hmm.
and that totally affects our relationship. And I know she's the same. She has a tough day at work, and she comes home, she takes it on me, and so it goes both ways. It's
Okay.
relaying the
And so let me ask you this. Did you know that in the moment while you were when you were overexpressing towards them and taking it out on them, did you know in the moment that you were doing it?
No. Only
No.
after, when I was like, oh, that was probably a little too far. And I went, why did I do that? And then,
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about you? Was there a time when you were acting out of anger and you knew you were acting out of anger? Or didn't know until after?
Well, I think, like, even back to your previous question, I think it affects, if you're angry at somebody, it affects you in different ways, different
Mhm.
people in different ways. So in this case, I would say, for me, I would just probably withdraw more, which creates a lack of communication.
Do you have an example when you did that?
I can't think of a specific one, but it happens a lot.
Okay.
It's a typical pattern, and I got to cool off and wait before I kind of reapproach it in a more sane and when the other person has calmed down,
Mhm.
and then when everything is relaxed, not
So you've been in the situation then where you've known, okay, I'm acting out of anger right now. I need to.
or that
back
the other
off.
person can't handle talking about it at that time, so you just back off
Mhm.
and leave it for a bit and go back to it later.
Can I add to that before Jay talks?
Sure.
I think the 24-hour rule is such an important thing when it comes to either roommates or even like a hockey coach versus
What's
like
the
a hockey player.
24-hour rule?
For me, I'm so heated in the moment. If I sleep on it or give it 24 hours and someone comes back to have a confrontation,
Mm-hmm.
I really don't care by that point. I let it go. But like 24 hours, don't talk to me about it, and then I'm fine after. Usually, honestly,
Gives you
99% of the time, I'm like, I was reacting, or it's not worth the fight. Same thing with like,
or gives the other person time.
exactly, to kind of come to their senses. But I know with my brother's hockey team, like you, after game, could not talk to the coach about the plays for 24 hours because the parents allowed to go cool off. And then they would come together and reasonably sit down and talk about it.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like they really thought about
Oh, it's a
ways
real thing
to
on every
manage
team.
their anger.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Jay, is there ever a time where you have done something and know in the moment that you were doing it out of anger?
No, Leslie, I'm a pretty calm person, but I have made dumb mistakes, getting mad for no reason in my life.
So you
yes.
think that acting out of anger is a mistake?
Or dumb.
Yes. Both.
Okay.
Yes.
So would you say that are you saying that you're dumb for doing these things?
I'm saying I have gotten mad at dumb things. That doesn't mean I am dumb.
Overreacted, is what you're saying.
Causing an overreaction.
Okay.
Yes.
So not
It's
worth
not a
it.
funny matter, okay? It's just
Sorry.
serious stuff, okay?
I'm actually more laughing because I think that my question to you is, have you ever acted out of anger and known you were acting out of anger and you said that it was dumb? And
I can normally
I'm wondering why.
realize
you
it fairly soon and start the apology soon
So
after.
the answer is yes.
Yes.
So you have done something or had kind of a situation where you've reacted or acted out of anger and you've known while you're doing it, I am doing this because I'm angry.
Sure, yes.
Yeah.
I just can't have an example. I don't have an example.
That's
But I'm
okay.
assuming I've done that, yes.
I would
So
think
you said that your wife leaves the lights on
So
all
let
the
me
time.
tell you, Leslie.
Let's hear about your wife.
When we first bought our house, I'd come home from work and all the lights would be on.
Uh-huh.
And at first I'd get mad and not politely ask for her to turn them off.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually I realized that it's easier to just do it in a non-confrontational way, in a normal way, and I replaced it to LED to save money, so it doesn't really matter as much. But
Okay.
The key
so
is
you
that
did some problem solving.
I noticed that the fight was not worth the effort or something. It's just lights.
And so that's why, the whole situation is what triggers your anger.
That was the only one that comes to mind,
Okay.
right when we drew the
That's
picture.
totally.
It was just an example.
No, that's
You
a
have to
great
think
example.
there's worse things going on in the world other than lights.
Exactly.
There we go.
You know what?
He
That's for
he
sure.
looked
You
at it on
know,
a scale and
you
he
got
went, okay, people are
It
dying.
wasn't really the lights.
It wasn't really the
It
lights.
was the money that the lights were
Yep.
costing.
Yep. And then that,
You hit the you
that
got it.
turns into an internal thing.
Anyways,
Alright.
she has improved, but there's still work, I think.
Okay.
But I don't get angry about it anymore.
Okay.
Or at least don't freak out angry anymore. It's just
Okay.
internal. It stays
Okay.
there.
Hey, well, internal anger is just as valid as external, and over,
It
when
comes out in
people.
a different way.
That's right. There's all sorts of ways that anger can manifest itself. So, Michelle gave her example of her overexpressing and taking it out on her parents.
I know, bottle it up.
Donna gave the example of her ability to realize that she's in an angry situation and then decide to remove herself from the situation, and Michelle's 24-hour rule kind of works with that. And you're describing yourself in angry situations as being almost degressive. So you started off being very angry, and as the problems proceeded with your wife, that you were able to kind of step back, reanalyze how you were dealing with it, and then go on with a new task and a new sort of
In
game
a
plan.
short period of time, yes.
Hey,
Shorter
that's-
than 24 hours, yes.
Well, that's
Oh, that's a skill I didn't
Smart.
even possess. I need 24
That's-
hours.
okay. Well, that's great. Okay, well, that wraps up our second part. So we're going to take another break, and you guys guys can grab some water, shake it off, go for a walk, and we'll
Excuse
be
me.
right back.
No problem.